And tonight we are following four major breaking news stories involving what is the biggest Russian scandal in the history of this country. The evidence is now incontrovertible. It's overwhelming that the Clintons sold out our national security to the Russians, and the Obama administration did nothing to stop them, and then they covered it up. Democrats and the media, they have been lying to you for over a year about what is really going on. Tonight we have brand new details as we continue to expose the truth that they won't even talk about. Also tonight, Ivanka Trump will join us for an exclusive interview. Also Newt Gingrich, that's coming up later. But first, NBC News reporting tonight the brother of former Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta is now under investigation by the special counsel, Robert Mueller. We'll also check in with John Solomon from The Hill. He has a new explosive report about a Russian spy trying to gain access to Hillary and Bill back in 2009. Also, Congressman Ron DeSantis says the House is now probing, thanks to, of course, Sarah, John Solomon, and this program, the Uranium One deal, and the FBI informant who helped expose this scandal can prove it and can show it was a quid pro quo. Also, Hillary Clinton is lashing out at the president, Fox News, and yours truly over the new revelations about Uranium One and her potentially criminal conduct. We're going to cover all of this. We have an important breaking news opening monologue. All right, so when it comes to Russia, we have been telling you for over a year that Democrats, their allies in the mainstream media, have been flat out lying to you, the American people, about what is really happening. Now, we've also been predicting that it would only be a matter of time before they manufactured hysteria conspiracy theories on Russia blew up in their faces, and that this entire thing is going to boomerang back on the Democrats and, of course, the media. Tonight, that continues to happen, and let me tell you why. NBC News is out with a bombshell report. Here's their own headline. Mueller is now investigating Democratic lobbyist Tony Podesta. Name sound familiar? Now, he happens to be the brother of Hillary Clinton's former campaign chairman, John Podesta. And according to NBC News, the special counsel, Robert Mueller, has launched a criminal inquiry into Tony Podesta and his lobbying firm, the Podesta Group. As NBC is reporting, Mueller's investigation began by looking into the finances of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, but has since now expanded to include Tony Podesta over whether his firm violated what is known as FARA, the Foreign Agent Registration Act. Now, under the law, lobbyists in the United States who work for foreign entities, they must register with the Department of Justice and disclose what they're doing. And according to NBC, well, the Podesta Group lobbied for a Ukrainian nonprofit called the European Center for a Modern Ukraine that has ties to pro-Russia political parties in that country. Now, this is where it gets interesting. As NBC News reports, the Podesta Group updated that registration and about its work with the Ukrainian group only in June, only after media reports, only after Congress started asking questions. This hypocrisy from the Democrats, beyond stunning. Now, we have heard for over a year now, Russia is a hostile country, Putin, such a bad character. Now it's the Democrats? What do you hear from the media, the corrupt media? Crickets, nothing. Hillary Clinton, members of her campaign, they have been attacking President Trump and claiming there's a Trump-Russia conspiracy collusion despite zero evidence for over a year, while John Podesta's brother, that's right, John Podesta's brother, the guy that ran Hillary's campaign, may have broken the law. Also tonight, John Solomon is out with another explosive report about Hillary Clinton. Take a look at this headline. FBI watched, then acted as Russian spy moved closer to Hillary Clinton. Remember the media's reaction to Paul Manafort and Don Jr.? Now, according to The Hill, the FBI has evidence that when Hillary Clinton first became the Secretary of State, this is in 2009, Vladimir Putin and the Russians, they launched a campaign to try and gain access to Hillary, her top aides, her husband, Bill Clinton. And according to The Hill, one attempt included a female Russian spy pretending to be an American accountant. Now, that spy used a false identity to secure a job with a major Democratic donor in the hopes that she would be able to collect intelligence on Hillary Clinton and the State Department. Well, guess what? That Russian agent was eventually arrested and deported as part of the FBI's massive 2010 spy ring bust. Now, according to an email that The Hill obtained, the Democratic donor, who may have been compromised, actually contacted the State Department to alert Hillary Clinton about what was happening. Now, we did reach out to that donor for comment. We didn't hear back. Shocking. Now, Hillary Clinton's spokesperson significantly tries, as always, to downplay this story, responding to The Hill this weekend, claiming, oh, it's all part of a partisan distraction. In other words, the vast right-wing conspiracy. Not surprising, but think about this for a second. At the exact same time, Vladimir Putin and Russia are trying to infiltrate Clinton's inner circle. Hillary is using a private server that had top secret special access program, classified national security information on it, the mom and pop shop bathroom, the same server that was less secure than your average Gmail account. Clinton knew what was happening because her office commented on the Russia spy ring bust back in 2010, yet she continued to use the personal server. Now, that's beyond reckless, and it's a direct threat to national security, but that's only part of it. And if that's not shocking enough, we have John Solomon and Sarah Carter's reporting from last week. Here are the highlights from last week. Bill Clinton, he tried to get the State Department to give him permission to meet with Russian nuclear officials while the Uranium One deal was being approved by the Obama administration and his own wife. And an American lobbying firm took millions of dollars from a Russian state-run nuclear energy corporation, while at the same time providing pro bono services, free services, to the Clinton Global Initiative, the Clinton Foundation. Now, back in 2009, the FBI was doing their job. They discovered evidence, including documents and emails and financial records. They had eyewitness accounts that the Russian nuclear officials working on behalf of Vladimir Putin and Russia and Moscow, they were engaging in bribery, kickbacks, money laundering, extortion, and various other types of racketeering. And by the way, other criminal conduct. Now, just before the Bill gets $500,000 when speaking in Moscow. That's twice his normal speaking fee. He got it from a bank that had an interest in the Uranium One deal. Well, Bill, he tried to meet while he was in Russia with nuclear leaders. He has to ask his own wife's State Department for permission. But instead, he didn't meet with them. He met directly with Vladimir Putin and the Russian government that has ties to the bank that's paying Bill Clinton and has an interest in Uranium One. Why? Because Vladimir Putin, he wanted control over America's uranium market. And what is so inexcusable is that the Obama administration, Hillary Clinton, Eric Holder, so many others, they let this happen. And in 2010, the Uranium One deal, it was approved. It gave Vladimir Putin what he wanted: control of 20% of America's uranium supply, the foundational material for nuclear weapons. Who would ever do this? And we also learned from The Hill and CircaNews.com, the FBI has evidence, including testimony. They have an informant that Russian nuclear officials funneled millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation while Hillary was serving as Secretary of State and personally signing off on the Uranium One deal in the first place that gave the uranium to Putin. And it turns out the informant was blocked by the Obama administration from exposing to Congress what was happening. Now, the New York Times also reported back in 2015 that the Russian nuclear company, Uranium One, was actually even exporting yellow cake uranium outside of our country to Canada. Now, even though they didn't have a license. So we have no idea what Putin has done with it, where it's ended up. Did it go to North Korea? Did it go to Iran? There's also several key officials that need to testify about what they knew and when they knew it. For example, the former Attorney General, Eric Holder, he oversaw the FBI. The FBI had all this information about bribery and kickbacks and money laundering in 2009. That was his job. He was also a member, Eric Holder was, of the committee that approved Uranium One along with Hillary. So he had to know what was going on. Then you've heard the name Rod Rosenstein. He appointed Mueller's special counsel looking into Trump-Russia collusion. He's the deputy attorney general now. He actually helped lead the FBI investigation into the Russian bribery scandal. And we have the special counsel himself, Robert Mueller. Well, back in 2009, he was the FBI director during this entire scandal. And now we're supposed to trust Mueller is going to investigate Russian interference fairly, objectively, and honestly, when he didn't tell Congress about the Russian bribery plot and crimes that the FBI said they knew were being committed. This is inexcusable. It's also another reason Mueller needs to go. and he needs to go immediately. There's also the fact that Robert Mueller has a troubling track record as a federal prosecutor. Take a look at this headline from FoxNews.com. Quote, Mueller team criticized by fellow attorneys for his history of questionable tactics. Now, a criminal defense attorney is saying that Mueller tried to entrap him while the now special counsel was working as a prosecutor in Boston. The same attorney also warned that Mueller's Russian probe, well, should be met with skepticism. And tonight, Congressman Ron DeSantis says the House Oversight Committee is now investigating this Uranium One deal. Congressman DeSantis also revealed some stunning information about the FBI informant. Let's take a look at this.
I've been able to speak with the confidential informant that helped the FBI uncover this bribery scheme. I've spoken with his attorney, and this informant wants to tell his story, but he's currently under a non-disclosure agreement that was signed with the Eric Holder Justice Department. He came forward in 2016, was threatened with reprisal from the Loretta Lynch Justice Department. We have the money that went to Bill Clinton for the speech, the $500,000, millions of dollars to the foundation from sources connected with Uranium One, and then you had the approval of the deal on the CFIUS board, which Hillary Clinton was a member of in 2010. So you do have the quid, you have the quo. This informant, I believe, would be able to link those two together because he was right at the heart of a lot of what was going on at the time.
Do you see what's happening? Since we've been covering this, because John Solomon, Sarah Carter have done amazing investigative work. Maybe, and we've been covering on it on this show. Now Congress is getting it. Now think about this. Maybe what Ron DeSantis was saying, maybe that's the reason why the Obama administration blocked this FBI informant from talking, because he might be able to expose the criminal conduct from the Clintons and others within the Obama administration. Now, whatever non-disclosure agreement this informant apparently signed with the Obama Department of Justice, it needs to be ripped up. And it can be ripped up by the Trump administration, by the Justice Department. You, the American people, deserve to know the truth about the Clintons and how they sold out your national security. And finally tonight, in just a pathetic display, and despite mountains of evidence and now 2 congressional investigations, Hillary Clinton is saying, oh, she did nothing wrong during the Uranium One deal. And Clinton is also attacking President Trump, Fox News, and, yeah, even yours truly, because we're telling you the truth. Watch this.
Sean Hannity on his program has been very critical of the Uranium One deal. The president saying, with regard to Russia, that's the real story in all of this. What would you say to those critics?
I would say it's the same baloney they've been peddling for years, and there's been no credible evidence by anyone. Trump and his allies, including Fox News, are really experts at distraction and diversion. So the closer the investigation about real Russian ties between Trump associates and real Russians, as we heard Jeff Sessions finally admit to in his testimony the other day, the more they want to just throw mud on the wall, and I'm their favorite target, me and, President Obama. We're the ones that they always like to put into the crosshairs.
The vast right-wing conspiracy is back. Hillary, I have a few questions for you. Why would you ever give Vladimir Putin, the man you've been telling us is so horrible, and Russia, of course, our biggest enemy, why would you give them 20% of America's uranium, the foundational material for nuclear weapons? Why would you ever do that? Why did your husband get twice the amount of money that he usually gets for a speech in Moscow? And at the time of the deal, he meets with Vladimir. And by the way, I have another question. Hillary Clinton, why did you take $145+ million from all the people associated with this deal? And will you go under oath and answer questions? I doubt it. You don't want to, do you? All right, joining us now with reaction, President Trump's attorney from the American